33, day 4, we're developing the quality of leadership. You are going to be the #1 role model for leadership. When things happen at your school, you're going to be the guy that goes down in the swamp and gets the geese out. Are you going to go down there and wait on them and help them until they get better? You're going to be the one at the front of the V leading the way. Because you got a head, you got a heart, and you got a backbone. You care about other people. D-Day, June 6, 1944. One of the most famous days in the history of America. We were fighting the Germans and the Italians and the Japanese, and we had to land in Europe. Germany held all of Europe, and so we had to invade Europe. And so Eisenhower and Montgomery and all the Allied commanders came up with this great idea. They were going to land at Normandy on June 6, 1944. These guys had the head. I mean, they came up with this great game plan. Really good. They were faking the Germans out, and the Germans were certain they were going to land at Calais. So they pulled a lot of their forces to Calais. And so they had a great plan of how to do it. They trained their soldiers really well. The weather was terrible. And they started to call it off. But they said, no, we're going. June 6, 1944, we invaded Normandy. D-Day. We beat Germany. We won World War II. Not because Eisenhower and Montgomery and those guys had the greatest game plan. Military strategists. Those guys were on a ship in the Atlantic Ocean. We were successful on D-Day because when those troops hit, and if you ever saw Saving Private Ryan, that was a great, accurate portrayal of what D-Day was. And we were successful because some 18 to 22-year-old soldiers in foxholes jumped out of those foxholes and said, let's go. They had a great game plan. But they won because they had great leadership when they hit the battlefield. See, when you play football, you can have the best game plan of anybody there is. But somebody has got to jump out of that huddle and say, let's go. And be that leader. When I went to Idabel, we hadn't beaten Brombo in 15 years. Played them the first year. We hadn't beaten them in 15 years. 21-20, they were ahead. We threw a pass. Got it down to about the 4-yard line. No timeouts left. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. And I tell KJ Wells, kill the clock, kill the clock. And you know how your mind can think so fast. I thought, we have never taught him how to kill the clock. We never worked one day on it. We had started football in August. I got there in August. We started football in August. So we didn't get to work on how to kill the clock at the end of the game. Or we didn't. Whether we had or had not, it was my fault. We had not prepared them for that. Because if they snap the ball to the shotgun, which we were in most of the time, and he takes the ball and throws it down, it's intentional grounding. And they run 5 seconds off the clock, which would have lost us the football game. And the minute I said kill the clock, all of that ran through my mind, and I thought, oh, man, because we never got under the center. KJ Wells walked up, got under the center, and got the ball, stepped back, and killed the clock. We kicked a field goal, won the game 23-21. My great plan? I got all the credit. I mean, it's unbelievable how much credit I got. But I couldn't wait to get to that radio station the next morning to explain to everybody that could hear me on the radio. KJ Wells stepped up and killed that clock with 4 or 5 seconds to go without ever having been taught that by me. Was he a great leader? Unbelievable. He jumped out of that foxhole and he said, let's go. 11 guys had never worked on it one day in their life, and all 11 of them lined up exactly right, dead still for a count, took the snap, killed it, and we kick a field goal to win the game. Lucky? No. We had an enormous advantage as far as being leaders. KJ Wells was an unbelievable leader. He jumped out of that foxhole and he said, let's go. But the other 10 guys followed him. They didn't look around and say, what do we do? We haven't worked on that. What's going on? They said, okay, boom. They stepped up and they did it. Both receivers lined up on the line of scrimmage. We had 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. We only had 1 back. Everybody else lined up on the line of scrimmage. To guarantee we had 7. Did they have the head? Yep. They knew what to do. Did they have a passion? They had never beaten Broken Bow. But what did they have? They had the backbone. They ran to that line of scrimmage. They got down. They killed the clock. Simple little thing. Coach, you making too big a deal. No, I'm telling you. If you're going to be a champion, and I'm talking about at your house, when the bombs go off and everything around you is going wrong, you got to jump out of that foxhole and say, let's go. You don't have great leaders when you're ahead 30-0. You find the great leaders when you're behind 14-0. And somebody says, hey, let's go. We're okay. Let's go. You have great leaders when mom and dad are getting a divorce and the kid jumps up and says, we're okay, let's go. That's why we have the nevertheless that I hope you're looking forward to getting. Nevertheless, greatest word that can be put in a sentence with your name. He only had 1 parent, nevertheless, he's always successful. We had not practiced 1 time killing the clock. Nevertheless, KJ Wells took him to the line of scrimmage, killed the clock, and we won the game. You want to be a great leader? Get out of that foxhole and say, let's go when all the bombs are going off. See you tomorrow.